Do you guys see this highlight right now? It is absolutely amazing. You guys are going to be so shook when you see what this is, so definitely stay tuned. You guys need this highlight in your life. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be doing a 3 looks using one palette. I always want to say a 3-in-1 look, but that literally makes no sense. We are going to be doing 3 separate eyeshadow looks using one palette. A few of my awesome subscribers actually gave me this idea. One of my subscribers requested that I do a 3 looks using one palette, and then another one of my subscribers requested that I do a tutorial using the palette that this video is featuring. So for these 3 looks, we are going to be using the Tarte Tartelette Toasted. I cannot put this palette down. Ever since I got it, it has quickly become one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. So I figured it would just be awesome to combine the 2 requests from my subscribers, kind of kill 2 birds with one stone, but I know that this is also a really popular palette that a lot of people got recently. So I figured I would just put out all these looks, give you guys some ideas if you do have this palette, or maybe if you guys are on the fence of buying this palette, it'll kind of inspire you to make your decision. This to me is the absolute perfect palette. Like I said, I cannot put it down. It just has the perfect variety of shades, and I am so in love with it, and I'm really happy and excited to be bringing you guys this video. Also, if I did remember the day that I was filming that look, I talked to you guys through the blush, highlight, and the lip choice, just so I can show you guys what I think corresponds with the eye look. So like I said, I really hope that you guys enjoy it, and let's just get started. Okay, so getting started with look number 1. This look is my personal favorite just because I feel like it is so easy, so sultry and smoky, just in a few simple steps, and then we're going to be tying it together with a nice structured shadowing. So I'm starting off with the shade Latte, and I'm going to be fluffing this through my crease. Like I said, I don't want this look to look too structured or too perfect, so I'm really just going to messily and quickly fluff this shade in the crease. And then I'm also going to be doing the same exact method with the shade Warmth, just to add a little bit more dimension and darkness there, just fluffing that shade through the crease. And now getting a little bit more precise, just to add a little bit more depth and dimension to the look, I'm going to be taking the shade Warmth again, as well as Cozy, which is a little bit more of a darker brick terracotta, and running this back and forth in my crease with my Morphe M433. Like I said, just to add a little bit more depth, and I'm placing this underneath those 2 transition shades that we added earlier. So really easy, as you guys can see, that is all that we did for the lid. And now I'm going to be taking the shade Fireside, and we are going to be making our shadow wing. You guys can totally use some tape on the corner of your eye if you want to have this precise right off the bat, but I'm just going to do this freehand and then go ahead and clean it up after. So this is a little Sigma eye pencil brush. Again, I will have the brushes listed down below, and I'm just doing a wing like I normally would. The tape really helps if you are more of a beginner, or if you want more of a guidance with your wing shadow, but you guys can do this however you want, however you feel most comfortable. So once I have that all drawn on, I'm going to be taking a Q-tip with some makeup remover and just dragging it along my eye, and this is really going to sharpen it up and make it look like a nice and crisp wing. I did want to brighten up my lid just a little bit though, so I'm taking the shade S'more and I'm applying that right on the inner half of my lid, kind of going towards the middle half, just to brighten things up a little bit, just to kind of break up some of the muddiness that kind of got on my lid from all of the blending little bits and pieces of those brown shades overall, just to really brighten up the whole look. So I did go off camera and do my mascara as well as the rest of my makeup, and to finish off the lower lash line, I'm just taking a bunch of the brown shades mixed together, Warmth, Latte, and Cozy, and just smoking that out as the base for the lower lash line. Here I'm just deepening up some of that liner. I kind of felt like it kind of faded when I was doing the rest of my makeup. I got some of the concealer and stuff on there. So I just went ahead to deepen up the liner to make it pop, make it a little bit more crisp and dark. And now I'm taking that same exact liner shade on the lower, like the outer corner of my lower lash line, kind of going onto the lower half. I wanted to connect this from the bottom half of my wing on the top, just so it looked like the eyeliner was kind of connecting all around my eye, and it really was the statement of this look. And now I'm going to be just buffing that out again with that same fluffy brush. And highlighting my inner corner, I'm going to be taking the shade Candle, spritzing that with some Fix Plus so it's nice and vibrant. If you guys saw my review on this palette, I would definitely say Candle is the biggest miss for me in this palette. It's definitely more of a chunky glitter, but nothing a little Fix Plus can't fix. That was hard to say. But anyway, just applying this on my inner corner with a little Sigma pencil brush to give a nice pop and to brighten up the whole look. And now moving on to the face, like I mentioned in the intro, I did want to give you guys some tips and tricks on what I think pairs with this eye look really nicely. So for blush, this is the Flormar Blush on Terracotta Powder in the shade Golden Peach. I just think it really goes nice with the warm tones. And for the highlight, like I kind of teased you guys in the beginning of this video, this is actually the shade Sunrise from the Tartelette Toasted palette. You guys, this highlight is so good. I really have been really into repurposing my makeup for other things, so I use this eyeshadow as a highlighter. I just think it looks really vibrant and very glowy, but it's almost natural. It's not the most intense highlighter, but I feel like it's very bright without emphasizing a lot of my texture or without being glittery, if that makes any sense to you guys. So I definitely packed that on, and on my lips, I have the Laura Mercier Extreme Matte Lipstick in the shade Fierce. So this is look number 2, getting started. I'm going to be taking the shade Latte, which is definitely my favorite shade in the palette. I think I use this in every look, just warning to you guys. It's just like my perfect transition shade, but I wanted this look to be a little bit more warm, so I went ahead and mixed that with the shade Cashmere, which definitely gives me like orange soda peach smoothie vibes, if you guys know what I mean. So this look was meant to be the quote-unquote natural everyday look of this trio of looks, but it did get a little more like an intentional cut crease in my opinion. But you guys can definitely go ahead and modify this look in any way. Colors, techniques, these are just some inspiration and some looks that I wanted to throw together and give you guys. So now I'm going to be taking the shade Cozy on the Morphe M505, which is, by the way, like my absolute new favorite crease brush. And I'm putting this just underneath that transition shade, but I feel like I went a little bit heavy, so I wanted to go in and soften it up and add a little bit more of that warm shade with Cashmere again, just fluffing that all over to soften things up and to add more of that warmthness in there, like I said. Now I'm going to take the shade S'more on a big fluffy brush and just blend out those edges. I would definitely say that this is my biggest trick when it comes to getting the most seamless blend as possible. I always feel that lighter shades kind of help those darker shades along in the blending process and kind of help it fade and have more of a gradient up towards my brow bone. So I'm just taking that and blending those edges like I mentioned, and then just doing some touch-ups with my little Morphe M505 in the crease if I want to just go back ahead and darken it up again a little. So now dipping into the shade Candle on this little flat Veramona brush, I'm going to be putting this onto my lid. I think I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. I feel like this turned into a little bit of an unintentional cut crease just because when I wet the shadow, it really turned into like a liquid metal, but you guys definitely don't have to do this so precise like I'm doing it. You can just kind of dab the shade onto your lid. I just kind of like this trick just because I don't have a lot of lid space, and I feel like I can carve out my lid space and make my lids appear bigger than they actually are. And overall, just for this particular shadow, I think wetting it just makes it a lot easier to work with. And of course, just going ahead and blending those edges where the lid shade meets the crease and just blending everything to make sure there's a nice gradient. And again, like I said, it kind of turned like a little bit of a cut crease, so I just wanted to soften that as much as I could. For my lower lash line, I'm just taking a mixture of all of the browns that I used in my crease and kind of heavily smoking this on my lower lash line. I've really been into this look. Like I said, you could totally modify this if you guys don't like so much of a heavy lower lash line, but I've really been liking this technique for my eye shape. And showing you guys what I would pair with this look on the face. This is the MAC Nutcracker Sweet Copper Face Compact. This product isn't available anymore. This was like a limited edition Christmas product, but the blush in here I believe is still available. It is called Pleasure Model. I just thought it was a really nice warm terracotta shade that was a nice pop on the cheeks. And now for the highlight, I'm using one of my favorites, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sundipped Glow Kit. The two lighter shades, I don't know exactly the two names, but I will have those listed down below for you guys, and I'm just soaking my whole face in this highlighter. So for my inner corners, I wanted to do something a little bit more subtle just because we did have so much highlighter on. So I'm just using the shade Sunset for the palette, and then I'm finishing up this look with the Flormar Revolution Perfect Lipstick in R16 Burgundy Mission. So now for look 3, again starting off with the shade Latte. I told you guys I'm so obsessed with this shade. Definitely my favorite shade in the palette just because I feel like it is the perfect base and the perfect transition shade to lay down for my skin tone. So I'm fluffing this through my crease with the Morphe M441. I just got a couple new brushes from Morphe, and I have to say I am very impressed with them. I will have all the brushes that I used in this video listed down below. No, this is not sponsored. I do not have a discount code or an affiliate code with Morphe, but now I'm just taking a little bit more of a dense brush with the same Latte shade, and I'm running this a little bit more precise into my crease, as well as packing this on the inner and outer corners of my eye because we are going to be doing a halo eye for this look. Dipping into Cozy and Latte mixed, I'm kind of going to be doing the same exact thing, just keeping this a little bit lower than the Latte shade on the outer corners of my eye mostly, just because I want the most definition to be on those inner and outer corners, just to make the halo eye really pop, and also really lightly feathering this through my crease as well. The shade Crackle is another one of my favorites in this palette. It's definitely, I would consider it a matte. It's definitely a matte brown with gold flecks of some glitter in there. I would definitely say they're almost like flaky pieces of glitter, but once you put this on your eye, I would kind of say the flakes just fall off, kind of blend away, and you're just left with the matte brown. So I'm going to be really focusing this on the inner and outer corners of my eye. Again, using more of a precise brush. I want to be more and more precise as the colors get darker so you can see those different layers and that gradient of shadow. Dipping back into Cozy, just taking this to blend everything out. I kind of was feeling like that dark brown was looking a little bit muddy. I just felt like it needed a little bit more of like a middleman shadow, if you guys know what I mean, to mesh everything together, and I think that this really did the trick. I really tried to use as many shadows in this palette as possible. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that I ended up using 11 out of 12 of the shadows in this palette once we are done with the tutorial. So now again, I'm taking the S'more shade and just doing that same technique that I showed you guys before, just blending out that edge with the lighter white shade to make everything look like a little bit more of a gradient and nice and faded going up towards my brow bone. I'm putting some concealer down on my lid. I think I used the Maybelline Better Skin Foundation, just a few dots to clean up the center of my lid in preparation for the metallic shade. So first I took the shade Flame from the palette, which is so pretty. It's definitely, I would say, best described as a flame. It's kind of coppery, but it does lean more on the reddish orange side, but I wanted something a little bit more golden and a little bit more of a true copper. So then I went in with the shade Sunset in the palette and placed that right on top, and you guys are going to see it just made more of a true warm copper shade, so it didn't lean as red. I'm just going in with a small little detail brush and adding a little bit more of the deep brown on the outer corners, and also just blending where the metallic shade meets the mattes, just so there's not a harsh line. It's a nice gradient. So I'm kind of bouncing back between patting more of the metallic shade on with my finger and then doing some touch-ups with my brush. So that is the tops of my eyes all completed. I went off camera to do my face, and now for my lower lash line, I'm mixing Latte, Cozy, as well as Crackle. I wanted to kind of mimic the same halo effect on my lower lash line as well to make my eyes look really cohesive and round. So I took all the brown shades all around my lower lash line, like I said, but right in the center, I'm taking the two Flame and Sunset shades mixed together. So as you guys can see, I have the pop of metallic in the center, both on the top and the bottom, just so everything looks tied together. And lastly, just mixing together S'more and Sunset just for a little subtle pop on the inner corners of my eyes. For For blush, I'm going to be going with Benefit Box Blush in the shade Dallas. I just wanted to keep it really neutral, nude, a little bit mauve-y since the eyes were so intense, just something natural so the whole look wasn't too overpowering. And then for highlight, I'm going to go in with Jaclyn Hill and Becca's Champagne Pop. I just thought the peachy tones really went with the copperiness that was on my eyes really well. So after I took 10 years applying way too many layers of highlighter, I went ahead and finished off the look using the MAC lipsticks in Cream in Your Coffee and Velvet Teddy mixed together. I just thought the two neutrals went really nicely together and they complemented the eyes really well, so the eyes kind of stayed the center of attention. But that is going to complete this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing these 3 looks using the Tartelette Toasted. Definitely let me know which one of these looks was your favorite, either look 1, 2, or 3. And also if you guys decide to recreate any of these looks, please make sure you guys send it to me on my social media because I would love to see your work. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe before you leave because I'd love to have you guys here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, I will see you in my next one. Bye guys! Say hi, puppy boy!